Well, welcome to this AD Quickbite. It's a bit of a beginner's guide, this one. I'm going to talk to you about PVA and how you can incorporate it into your own angling and go out and catch carp like this. Steady. Now, what is PVA, you may ask? It is a material that dissolves in water. And some bright spark, a long time ago, thought I can use this in my fishing. And from that day onwards, it has caught loads and loads of carp from some of the best anglers across the country. And there are 4 main PVA types that I would recommend you use in your fishing. First one is PVA tape. It comes on a roll and it is mainly designed for using with stringers originally. What's a stringer? A stringer is basically where you get a gate latch needle, thread on 3 or 4 baits, slide them onto the PVA tape. You can then attach it to your rig and then you can cast it out into the lake. What that does is once it's melted in the water, you have 3 or 4 freebies around your hook bait. But not only that, with the extra weight on your rig, it eliminates any tangles. So if you're casting out, not quite hitting that clip, not feathering the lead down, it will stop any tangles that basically come from hitting that clip too hard and going into the water too fast. So that is one of the main reasons why I recommend using PVA tape, because it does eliminate those tangles. Not only that, you can use the PVA tape to tie the top of solid PVA bags. We'll get onto that in a minute. And also another use is for tying up hairs on your rig. If you've got long hair and it's prone to tangling on the cast, you can use a little bit of PVA tape just to secure the hair on the cast. Then it brings me on to the next PVA sort of product that I like to use, and it's probably the one I use the most, and that is PVA Nuggets. It's a little foam nugget of PVA, and mainly it's used to sort of wrap around the hook of pop-up rigs. So when you cast out, your lead will hit the deck, your rig will be suspended upright because the foam is buoyant. Once that dissolves, the rig will kick away from the lead and lay down on the bottom. So it sort of stops the hook from getting tangled up on any sort of weed or anything as it goes into the water. Pops to the top and adds also another element. Oh, a minute. Well, there you go, that's proof in the pudding that PVA actually catches you carp, because I've caught one using the PVA Nuggets, and exactly, I think what I was talking about before I had that interruption. The PVA Nugget, once pops to the top, gives a little marker of where you're actually fishing, and then you can spread with a catapult or a throwing stick some boilies around that area, and you're fishing, but like in my case, a little hingy out there. Nugget pops up, throwing stick, bait round the top, and it works, obviously. So yeah, PVA Nuggets, probably the thing I use the most in my fishing. And then that brings us on to PVA Mesh. Now these were originally designed with a little funnel, a little tube, which you can put ground bait, crush baits, boilies, tigers, whatever you want. As long as it's dry, you can put into this tube, compress down, and make a little stocking of PVA Mesh with all the bait you require inside. You can then thread it onto your hook link or just nick it onto the hook. Yet again, the weight stops any tangles. Once dissolved, lovely little pile of ground bait, crush baits, whatever you like around your hook bait. But you've got to make sure whatever you put in there is dry. Then that brings us on to the last, and that is the one which I think a lot of people are using, and that is solid PVA bags, and rightly so. They catch so many carp. They're a really neat way of presenting a rig out in the lake, which eliminates tangles because your rig and the lead system is combined in a little parcel of bait, i.e. the solid bag. So how you use it, use a little inline lead, a little supple hook link, and a very short hook link, and it has to be supple and short to be able to fit in the bag. Tell you what, if you don't know how to tie a solid PVA bag, I'll put a little link in the description below that you can click, and it will take you and show you everything you need to know about solid bags. But go into the PVA part of it, you load it all into a PVA bag with all the bait, the pellet, whatever you like, and then you sort of basically either use some PVA tape to tie it up, or you can use this load system here by Nash, speed loader, and you can actually make a solid little bag which casts like a bullet, and it fishes over pretty much any lake bed, apart from really deep weed, you're presented. And that's PVA, you know, a basic guide to PVA, but if you're not using PVA, I suggest you do, because it definitely works. And if you want to see what we have to offer with PVA, I'll put a little link below. You can click on it, takes you to our AD website where you can buy all the PVA. Hit that like button if you like the video, subscribe if you haven't, and we'll see you on the next one.